Welcome back to AutoLooks. This week we're looking at the Maserati MC Stradale. Yeah, well, technically Gran Turismo MC Stradale. What really defines this model from a regular Gran Turismo is the fact that, hey, this is a purebred racing car. Now, we all know that Lamborghini's got the Superlega, Ferrari's got the, what does Ferrari got again? Well, I know they got the competition race ones. And, well, Maserati's got their own version too. Now, why would somebody create a race-bred, street-going car? Well, there are those weekend goer people with tons of money who like to have a purebred racing car. And the problem is, it's something they don't want to bring to work. It's something they want to just go to the tracks with on the weekend. And Maserati has done this before when they released their, MC9. They did have a wild-looking supercar before. Now, this thing is just one of those things that's just, Maserati said, hey, we got one awesome-looking coupe. We got tons of people who are buying them. What can we do to make it look better, perform better, and appeal to those weekend racing people? And they thought, let's take the Gran Turismo. Let's add a brand new front bumper with spoiler, drop the sides a bit, and rearrange the back. And there you go. You got a weekend racing car. And the problem is, you just took an existing car and added on a bunch of features to it. That, in most people's game, is called aftermarket modifications, which is usually done by specific people who run aftermarket body shops. It's one of those things that's kind of, let's just say, pissing off a lot of people in the industry. It's all great when you can afford to buy a 700 horsepower Mustang, but when you're going to the track and kicking my ass, and I've spent past like year or two beefing up a Mustang, and you're kicking my ass just because you can afford a $100,000 sports car, well, that takes all the fun out of it. Before too long, we're going to see 18-year-olds whose parents are just loaded buying them 700 horsepower friggin' Mustangs and Camaros, and they're going to be going out there, and you get the kids out there that don't have a ton of money. They're spending, working 3 jobs, spending their money, building these awesome racing cars, and getting their asses kicked by the rich kids. Sorry, but this is one market I'm not too much of a fan of. I'm a fan of aftermarket modifications, doing minor stuff. Sort of like what the old Neon SRT4 was like. They added a little bit of boost, a little bit of horsepower, put some different rims on and a different body kit. Kind of saved you a bit of money on the body styling, where you can put more money into the engine bay. Now, for something like this, well, if you're somebody who can already buy it, you're already somebody who can afford a Gran Turismo, which is one of those vehicles that actually goes up against, a Mustang already. But this thing, what can I say? Up front, Maserati still hasn't got rid of that stupid nose. Yes, take a look at it. It's got a nose. Or a wide mouth. Not very cool looking, not very great. They could have done so much more. I think if they wanted to create the racing model of this, what they could have done, they could have brought the nose in a small little bit and made the front spoiler not as massive. This thing is just a little bit oversized. Moving on to the side, yeah, you got these wicked looking air ducts right along the side. Before, this car was just nice, smooth, round, and just curved around. But now you get this air duct, which just proves we're adding some boxy features. We want to go track racing. Take me to the track. Yeah, Maserati has done that. Now, the only problem is I still find they still got these side ducts. I don't know why they would ever add these things. They kind of cheapen the car. I'm not too much of a fan of them. Like, they're cool and they're not cool. Because theirs are just 3 tiny little portholes. Moving on to the back end, we noticed that Maserati's made some massive changes to the wheels. Yes, they got what racing inspired. More than likely Motegi's, since it is Maserati. This wild-looking racing car that, you can bring to the track. But the other problem with it is, I've seen these wheels on Audi You know, ever heard of the Audi RS4, RS6? They had the same style wheels. You know, 5-point broken rims. Everybody's got them. I think Maserati should have taken a lesson and said, hey, maybe we should go with something a little bit more different than what everyone else has. Now, Outback, they haven't added a spoiler. Thank God they haven't added some massive spoiler. You know, would have made it look more like a track car, sort of like the Viper ACR. But with this thing, they said no spoiler. They had their lip spoiler, and that's about all they need. Actually, kind of makes it look really nice, right? But you're looking at the back, man. You kind of notice that this sort of has the appeal of a Z4, going around, kind of mysterious, kind of evil. Really kind of takes after a BMW. I still love those taillights. I still love the notch here. The only problem I don't like when they changed this, they used to just have this one big, massive grille. And then they added this for the Racing Inspire. And then they dumped the exhaust right into the center of the car. Either do one big port right in the center, or two off to the side. Don't do two kind of halfway up the back end. It just does not look good. It's kind of weird, kind of odd. I don't know what Maserati is thinking. Overall, for racing style for this car, sorry, Maserati, this car did get an 8 with me last year when you released the Gran Turismo, but when you released the racing model version of it, I gotta get you a 6. Why? You went a little too overboard with that the front spoiler, adding the big lip. You didn't take care of that front nose and out back. That exhaust. Move it off to the sides. Get away from the center. Either go right in the center with the dual exhaust, or don't do it like halfway. It's just odd. For this week, Zebra Chase saying, Maserati, racing cars belong on a racetrack. Street cars belong on the street. Let us take care of the aftermarket stuff. When you can pay somebody like a Ballad to do something kick-ass for your car or Project Con, then yes, do that. Until then, leave the aftermarket stuff up to the aftermarket guys.